Welcome back, everybody, to the Hour Back Report, episode 13. First recording of the 2026 calendar year. I'm Jordan, joined by Jamie and Jack. Boys, how we doing tonight?
Could be better.
Not great.
This
Could
didn't
be
feel
better.
like a Wednesday to me.
No, I think we've had enough honorary Wednesdays where we could actually just make this an honorary Thursday. It's like, did it really count? I was telling Jamie before you joined the room, Jack, that I think this is the first episode we've recorded since the season opener that followed a loss. Like, I think they've won I think they've won the game before we've recorded every single time. Unless did they only play 2 games in between the opener and our third episode? I don't remember. They typically win the day we record or the day before we record. Be it as it may.
2026. Gotta switch it up sometimes to start the new year.
Yeah. I would much rather have the wins though before we record because it makes it more fun.
Oh, it's happened once. When there were on the December 17th recording, the previous game was Monday, December 15th in Detroit. We lost that game.
Okay. So it doesn't feel the same because it was a couple days after the fact. But yeah, it doesn't happen often. And so naturally we're going to delay actually talking about that game because literally like 5 minutes before we started recording, Trae Young got traded to the Washington Wizards because he wanted to.
Yeah, we were talking before we started. Why of all the teams is the Wizards the very top of his? Like, I get, like Jordan said, like I get he'll rack up points and whatnot, but like the Wizards is just the very last place I thought he would play. Like he would be like, send me there. That's where I want to be.
Yeah, and I get like some of the other teams on his list. It seemed like there just like wasn't any momentum there. Like I know Boston was on his list, and fit wise that would have been weird unless like it was a Pritchard and Simons go out situation for Trae. And even then, with how much of a black hole he is on defense, I don't know if they'd want to do something like that and that he'd become the third option once JT's back. And I think like the Lakers were like obviously a team he'd go to, but with Reeves and Luka, that's not going to happen. So like it's still weird, but like I guess of the teams, why not? And I think it's a no-brainer for Washington because you're giving up nothing. There's no draft capital in this trade. You're just sending an expiring war criminal CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert, who is a nice role player who I've seen torch the Celtics in TD Garden, but like he's a role player for a legit all-star, a legit like top 25 or so player in the league. Like you totally do it if you're Washington. You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, because you're a good team, like at all. Like there's nothing really redeeming about the Wizards, and like at some point they have to try and accelerate their rebuild because they've been rebuilding forever. I think the last playoff game they played was that Paul Pierce? No, it wasn't Paul Pierce. It was Kelly Olynyk sending them home. Or the Tatum 60-point play-in game might have been the last, like if you want to count that as a playoff game.
No, before this trade, I mean, Sarr obviously is showing flashes that he can be a legit player in the league, and he's taken growth in year 2, and he was already pretty good in year 1. Still raw, obviously, but he's a 7-foot guy who blocks shots and can space the floor. And then Kaishan George has shown a little this year. But besides that, that's 2 guys on a roster who you think are actually going to be NBA players. That's not a lot.
Yeah, like Bilal Coulibaly hasn't developed like they thought he would. Obviously, McCollum is a vet, and
Carrington hasn't developed the way they've wanted.
Right. And then, yeah, I mean, and like you said, Kispert's like a nice role player. They already, had Jordan Poole and got rid of him. They had Kyle Kuzma, got rid of him. So it's not like they
had Kristaps Porzingis
and got rid of him. Although who did they even get in that trade? Wasn't it just Brogdon and no? What was that trade? Why am I blanking on what the Celtics gave up for KP?
Marcus
Smart. Yeah, Marcus Smart. Team trade. But geez, brutal.
I can't believe when it is crazy because I understand Trae Young's value is in a weird spot right now. He's been hurt. He's bad on defense. He's tiny. I understand all the flaws with Trae Young. And I've been vocal about them in the past when he was like kind of anointed after that playoff series against the Knicks, and people were getting very quick to call him Steph Curry. He's not Steph Curry, and he never was close to Steph Curry. But when you see like all these guys traded for 1 million picks, you couldn't get one draft pick for Trae Young is absolute crazy. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. And I guess that's kind of the issue with NBA contracts too. Like, because you have to make the money work in deals, especially if you're up against it with your salaries. It's just such a weird. It's only fitting that CJ McCollum's in that trade
because it's his fault.
Because he did this exactly, and yeah, why the Wizards? Like, I don't like. I get having preferred destinations, but like, why are the Wizards on that list? It's like
he was very upset Reese O'Shea was the first pick and not Sarr, and he wanted to right that wrong.
Maybe that must be it. He had to play with Kristaps Porzingis, and he's like, you know what? I really could use Alex Sarr instead, which, fair enough. Alex Sarr does not have pots, so it's nice to be able to play with. Yeah, that's a good point. The year is still young. It is only day 7 of 2026. I think KP got his pots in February last year, so
something like that.
So hey, I'm not trying to manifest Alex Sarr getting pots. Let's make that abundantly clear.
That would be devastating for my dynasty basketball team. So let's not manifest that. Where I have Trae Young and Alex Sarr on that team. So little did I know.
You're predicting the future with that one.
Yeah.
First person since the mid 2010s to own multiple Wizards in a dynasty league. The last time they had multiple good players. The question is, was Marcin Gortat one of the multiple players you had back in the mid 2010s? But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's so weird because it's like a significant trade in the sense it makes the Hawks worse, but like I could see a reality where they are actually better off.
Does McCollum get bought out? Is that the next step? Is CJ bought out?
I don't see why they would do that, because I mean, who's there? I mean, they have Dyson Daniels, they have Jalen Johnson, Nickeil Alexander Walker. Maybe they'll just bench him. They'll have him come off the bench and be the most expensive backup in the league. Like, I mean, McCollum can still score the ball, so it's not like. And then you still have Kispert. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess it kind of probably depends how. It probably depends on how McCollum feels about going to the Hawks. I mean, the Hawks are a better team,
right?
So, like, in theory, you'd think he'd have to want to be bought out, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think he'll play there, and if they're terrible, I guess it's early enough where if they're terrible, they can then trade McCollum again in February. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm just like, it's the only team that really had any smoke with Trae Young. It's just so weird to me that that's where he ended up. It's like so insignificant, but also significant.
Maybe you just want some time to tour the museums, taking some.
They're all free too down there, so it's like, Trae Young might be frugal.
Can you do that in Atlanta?
No.
Nope, you definitely cannot. And there's absolutely no pressure on them to win. So
it was negative pressure. They currently have the 4th worst record in the league.
How many people remembered today that the Washington Wizards are a basketball franchise because Trae Young got traded there? How many casual fans were like, "Oh, that's right, there's a team in DC."
Probably everyone in DC.
Yeah, everyone in DC was like, "Shit, maybe I'll go to a game now." They probably won't, but probably for a second they thought about it. But yeah, so that's Trae Young discourse. Shall we get into game 1 of the first
if he plays on Friday, it is interesting that first game is against New Orleans, who are also terrible. So it'll be like a fun little like, welcome to your new team, Trey. You get to beat down on these people who are terrible. And guess what? Your old team gets their probably top 3 draft pick.
And a former proud owner of CJ McCollum as well,
yeah.
the New Orleans Pelicans. So,
because I don't know if you guys saw the report that I guess the Pelicans will like at least consider listening on Herb Jones, but it would require at least 2 first-round picks. And it's breaking my brain that Herb Jones is 2 first-round picks and Trae Young is no first-round picks, because it's like,
well, yeah, they got CJ McCollum. I mean, that's
like, no disrespect to Herb Jones, he's a nice 3-and-D player, but he's a nice 3-and-D player. Like Trae Young is like a 25-and-11 guy.
Yeah, wasn't this year though. He's been pretty bad. I mean, he only played 10 games, so it's not like even close to an adequate sample size. But worst year of his career so far, at least from an efficiency standpoint. And from a points per game standpoint, it's his worst since his rookie season. So still getting his 9 assists a game. Yeah, definitely not his best year. And to your point about people anointing him the next Steph Curry, he has never exceeded 40% from 3 in a season. He's a career 35% 3-point shooter. That would be the worst year of Steph Curry's career by like 7%.
Right, but like he's small and he has decent handles and he chucks from half court sometimes. So people are like, Steph Curry. It's always been embarrassing to try.
And he has cool celebrations or somewhat corny celebrations, but
like,
he did game the Celtics in a playoff game.
Like efficiency wise, obviously not Steph, but it's like with Dame, you had the deep shots and he was efficient as hell from 3. Obviously not Steph level, but
very clutch too.
Yeah. It's like, if people want to like say Dame is like as close as it gets, no beef with that. Don't put Trae Young in that conversation.
Yeah, he's not there. He's not that guy. Good player. We'll see how much that helps the Washington Wizards.
Do they want to be helped? Like,
well, maybe not this year, but like moving forward, like again, they had to accelerate their rebuild at some point. They've been rebuilding literally for a decade. So it's like,
it is weird though, only because, and I agree with you, but this is a draft class where you have like 3 guys who might be the number 1 in other classes, and you have the 4th worst record right now, and you're making a win now move.
Yeah.
That is on par with how they operate.
That is true. But it's just like, if like they stand, like let's say they stood pat and ended up with the 4th pick. I know there's the lottery and all that. It's like they'd feel dumb. But it's like, if they just tanked a little harder and you get one of those 3 and then make this trade in the offseason, then you're probably feeling better about yourselves. But you know, it is what it is.
Welcome but I guess if you waited till the offseason, you wouldn't have the McCollum contract to move. Right. So, but then you could obviously go in with draft capital instead. But I mean, if you could have the opportunity to trade CJ McCollum and keep draft picks, you've got to do that for sure. And yeah, like you said, it's a no-brainer move. It's just a move you would expect a team that's like kind of on the bubble that like might be a year away from being something good. Like I don't want to keep bringing up the Chicago Bulls, but like you know how the Bulls are always perpetually like around the play-in. Like if they traded for Trae Young, it's like, okay, it wouldn't make sense roster-wise, but it's like, okay, you're making a stride to get out of that play.
When have the Chicago Bulls made decisions that make sense roster-wise?
That's fair. That is fair. It is early onset Sacramento Kings, so Trae Young would know that he would eventually be in Sacramento.
I remember one time I was watching a Bulls game. This was either last year or the year before, and they had a starting 5 in that game of Kobe White, Lonzo Ball, Ayo Dosunmu. I think Giddey had already been traded there, and then Vucevic. And I'm like, you're starting 4 point guards in Vucevic. Like, what is this lineup? Like, this is what we're doing now?
Gotta love the Bulls. They're nothing if not entertaining. From like an outsider's perspective, I can imagine what it's like being a fan of that team. It's crazy because Chicago is like lauded as this big market, but like all of their teams are pretty freaking embarrassing if you think about it. like outside of, the Bears this year have been really good, but like historically, the last 7 years or so, like since the Cubs like reign of dominance over the NL Central ended, like Chicago sports teams have been an abject failure. It's been pretty embarrassing.
Well, also like with the Bulls, like I feel like the Bulls get like a ton of credit and stuff, and like I get it, they won 6 titles in 8 years. That's insanely impressive. But that's the only time that franchise has ever been consistently good ever. They were never good before Michael Jordan, and outside of a brief flash of Derrick Rose, they haven't been good since. Like it's not like, San Antonio, which is like kind of similar in terms of number of titles, but like San Antonio was like good, then got Tim Duncan and was great, and then lost Tim Duncan and at least were respectable for a long period of time and now are building it back up. It's like the Bulls outside of Jordan are like, I wonder what the win percentage is for the Chicago Bulls without Michael Jordan on the roster. It's probably really bad.
Yeah, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it's good. It is 15 or so years. So like that's a large portion of their history, right? I mean, they haven't been around crazy long, right? Like the 70s or the 60s. So, but yeah, no, it's definitely, and like that's a team that refuses to rebuild, and it's like they probably should tear it down at some point, but they refuse to. And like it's weird because they make good moves in the sense that they like Josh Giddey has been a very good Chicago Bull.
Yeah.
And like Boutzelis looks like a really nice player. But like you need to be bad. Like it needs to get worse before it gets better. And they refuse to get worse. They're like, we are content just making sure that we maybe host the play-in game that we lose.
Yeah. And like that's where the Pistons were for like such a long time too, like about 10 years ago, like when they got Blake Griffin and they had Drummond and Reggie Jackson, and they were like, just capable enough of the 7 seed, but never actually going to do anything. And then like they kind of finally realized, okay, we do have to blow this thing up. But it took like 4 or 5 years of the 39 win Pistons before they got wise to it and finally ended up with Cade Cunningham. And now look where they are.
Yeah. And I guess too, like it's not always just about happening into the number 1 pick, because the Wizards haven't had it,
right?
But like they've had top draft picks for several years, and they have hit on one, like Sarr.
Yeah.
And that's really about it as far as like truly very good players. So I guess it's like I said, at some point you got to accelerate it, but it's like what we've been doing isn't working in any capacity. Like we don't get rewarded for tanking. It's not like we ever get the number 1 pick. So we may as well end up with like, we can see if this star player is somebody that we can actually build around, or if it's building more around Alex Sarr. Because Sarr looks at least like a guy that you can build around, but is he a number 2, or is he, your franchise player? And I guess you'll find that out with Trae Young, and it'll be the best big he's played with. Because the current iteration of Kristaps Porzingis is not the KP that the Celtics got his first year.
Well, he had Capella for a minute.
Yeah, but I still think Sarr because Sarr can space the floor, so it's not just a lob threat. So it's, I guess Capella, at least from like an overall production standpoint, is still probably the best one. But like how I think they will feed off of each other, I think Sarr is the best.
Serious potential here.
That's why the Spurs made so much sense before they traded for De'Aaron Fox, because it was like, Wemby and Trae Young would be like an insane duo, especially because Wemby makes up for everybody's deficiencies on defense. But that's beside the point. Anyway, anything else on Trae Young before we get into the Celtics? I told you we'd bake in 20 minutes of Trae Young talk.
Then we got the Bulls talk in there too. We got it all.
Yeah, we did. No, we'll save the Mammoth talk for later. We'll save that for the end. Make sure we get to an hour with the Mammoth dialogue. But so, yeah, like I was saying earlier, first time all year we've had 4 games to talk about in an episode. First one was Celtics at the Sacramento Kings. Got to talk about the Kings after you talk about the Bulls, as
as it
order
is
as it is written in the scripture. The first half was a close game. Actually, the first 3 quarters were close, and the Celtics kind of ran away late. Actually, it was tied after 3. Now that I'm looking at the box score again, Jamie, what are some of your takeaways from this first game of this little 4-game stretch?
I think I've done some last 2 weeks that I don't like doing. It's saying positive things about Garza because he went 5 for 6. He only missed 1 shot. He was really efficient. I was impressed by that. Hauser also very good, going 5 of 7. Jaylen, even though he was atrocious from 3, I think he was like 1 of 9 or something like that. He still almost had his 30 points. In the fourth quarter, again, I think they held the Kings to 18 points. So it's another crunch time, especially when you have Jaylen not being able to make a shot from the 3-point arc. As you can see them kind of clamp down and then get good contributions from the bench, especially from a guy like Garza, who, like I said, he's playing good basketball, and like him praising him a lot the last couple of weeks was not something I was expecting to do to start out 2026, but here we are.
Yeah, that love-hate relationship with Luka Garza is like a possession by possession thing. It's really something. And I've embraced it. I mentioned it last episode. I've really embraced that I'm just going to it's really going to be a coin flip moment to moment how I feel about Luka Garza. And you know what? I can live with that. As long as he's not the number 2 center going into the postseason. That's fine. Jack, what are some of your thoughts on this one?
I mean, the bench is why they won the game, ultimately. It's when your starters shoot, what does this equal? I'm terrible at math. 5 for 24 from 3. That's not very good. Some might say that's pretty bad. You still shot 41% from 3 from the game because all your bench guys were hitting their shots. Hauser made 5, Simons made 4, and everybody else took 1, made 1. So that's going to boost up the efficiency. And this team lives by the 3, dies by the 3, and got bailed out by the bench being efficient with it. And, even though Jaylen couldn't bury anything from there, the fact that he still was able to put up 29, he made all but 1 free throw. He had 10 rebounds. It was just, a kind of all around type thing. And I think Ugo had a lot of energy. Obviously, he's a plus 20, which I didn't even realize until I'm looking at it now. And obviously, it's a team stat, not an individual stat, but it kind of shows, he's a guy who, his energy is infectious. We saw it even tonight near the end of the game where, not to get ahead, but he makes things closer than they should be sometimes and can close the gap just from effort. And that's the thing about the NBA, especially in the regular season. And the other thing I just learned looking at the box score, because I didn't realize this during the game, Doug McDermott's on the Kings.
I forgot he existed until this game.
He can't even play for the Kings either.
Yeah, he was a DNP coach's decision. So I didn't notice him in the game. But now looking at the box score, I see Doug McDermott and Dario Saric on the bench, DNP coach's decision. And it feels like in 2K when guys will just end up on the bottom of the bench when you're in year 10 of your sim. It's damn, how'd they get there?
Yeah, you got I think I saw somebody, to your point, do a sim and they had they did one of those, how you can do an 80s franchise?
Yeah.
Isaiah Thomas was still playing in the year 2008. He was a 40 overall, 60-year-old. Those still kicking on the bench of the
Udonis Haslem of the 80s.
Yep.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I guess of the 2000s.
Yeah.
But yeah, this game, I did the math. 71% from 3. The bench was very much better than the starting lineup, and I'm starting to wonder. Not that I am sounding the alarm on the guy, but it's really been a rough go of it lately for Jordan Walsh. Not even just from how he's playing, he's struggling to stay in the game. He only played 5 minutes in this one against Sacramento, but when he's out there, you don't notice him anymore. I don't know if he's battling something. I mean, he did have the illness and he hasn't looked the same really since coming back. I don't know if something's lingering there. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. I wasn't going to say it, but he looks noticeably worse. And, it is what it is. I mean, it's kind of thrust Hauser back into the starting lineup, which is fine because he's shooting now. But this team was at a much different level when Jordan Walsh was hooping, and now he's not hooping as much anymore, at least not of late. But yeah, Celtics win this one by 14. Any final thoughts before we get into game 2?
Shout out to the bench for saving the day.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Shout out to Celtics legend Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah. That is true. I forgot he's on the Kings as well. And I was just looking at his name in the box score too, and I completely glossed over that. It's really a
bizarre roster when you look at it. It's like, this isn't a real team, especially without Sabonis and Levine as well. It's like this feels so fake when you look at this roster. It looks like, not to keep making 2K analogies, but when like they don't have the rights to guys on a historic team, so like it's just like 7 guys and then like all AI generated players. That's kind of this Kings team. You're like, oh yeah, Russell Westbrook and DeRozan and Keegan Murray. I know those guys. What's a Drew Eubanks doing here? Like
Drew Eubanks, not to keep it on 2K. When I thought he was an AI generated player when I learned of his existence in 2K. I was like, Drew Eubanks is not a real guy. I've never heard of him. I've never seen him play basketball. This can't be a real guy. In 2021, I saw him playing. I don't remember what team he was on, but I saw him playing. I'm like, that guy was real. What?
It might have been the Wizards.
Wouldn't shock me. It's crazy though, because you look at the Kings roster and it's like a bunch of guys who used to be good, which is why they're on the Sacramento Kings now, because they used to be good and now this is where they go to realize their career's over.
Oh, it's the Blazers. Okay,
that makes sense. Him and Ed Davis were a dynamic duo. Ed Davis, another guy that I thought was not real until like 2016 when he was with Memphis. But anyway, on to game 2. Celtics versus Clippers. This one was an absolute just travesty for the Los Angeles Clippers. They got boat raced. Kawhi Leonard, fresh off of a 50-point game, was 6 of 17. Shout out Jaylen Brown, who texted Joe Mazzulla apparently on the plane that he wanted to guard him. Did a pretty damn good job, and then also scored 50, because that's 2025, 2026 Jaylen Brown for you. He's been ridiculous.
Hyper efficiently as well.
Yeah, what was it? 18 of 26, 6 of 10 from 3. Yeah, he had 50 points, 5 assists, 3 boards. You score 50 points. I don't really care what the other shit you're doing is. He scored 50 points. He's been ridiculous this year, and he's averaging over 30 for a reason. And where would they be without him? Truly. Jack, what are some of your thoughts on this one?
I mean, it begins and ends with Jaylen, because, I mean, he was incredible. This was, one of his best games as a Celtic. And, it's kind of funny because this is the game that you predicted them to lose. And I said, if they're going to lose a game in this stretch, I don't feel great about the Clippers game because of how Kawhi's been playing. And they just, dominated it start to finish. And, it's a good sign, especially that Jaylen wanted that responsibility of being the guy on Kawhi. And then beyond that, while we talked about the Jordan Walsh stuff, this was definitely his best game in these 4 games that happened here. And so like it's nice to see him put one in. Derek White had a really good game. Simons was making threes. Like everything kind of just really clicked for the Celtics in this game. And it felt like nothing that wasn't John Collins was clicking for the Clippers. So I don't think any trees were planted in the LA area after this game. And yeah, it was bad. And like, I know we might get into it if we talk a little bit about before tonight's game, but Zubac, and obviously coming off injury, didn't look that great in the game. And not that one game sample is like why you decide to trade or not trade for a guy, but wasn't very effective.
No, he was quite awful. 2 of 6, 4 points, 7 boards. And then, yeah, to your point about Jordan Walsh, 13 points, 13 rebounds off the bench, 3 of 4 from 3. So it was definitely a nice turnaround game for him. Anfernee Simons is like not missing threes this year so far. Like 2026 has been the year of Anfernee Simons. He's been, or actually, was this game in 2026? I think it was. Yeah. He's been awesome this half of the basketball year. So it's been nice for him.
Guy.
Big even year guy. Huge even year guy. Jamie, your thoughts on this one?
Just starts ends with Jaylen. It was good to see him go 6 of 10 for 3, I think it was, after going 1 from 9 the night before. I mean, I know it's the Clippers, but it's good to see him kind of dominate. And also Jordan Wallace, too. I know he said he struggled, but I feel like the best game he's had in a while. I mean, getting 13 boards is pretty good. He was also very efficient. It was just another balanced game, but it was good to see kind of a marquee performance from Jaylen. It's just the level he's played at this year, especially see him have that over averaging 30 points a game. He just looked unstoppable.
Yeah, it's been crazy how good Jaylen's been. Like, I mean, we all knew he was good. We obviously had our questions about how he'd be as the number one, but like, and I know Derek White and Peyton Pritchard have like slowly rounded into form. It's not been like their seasons have hardly been linear. Like, it's like they'll go crazy for a few weeks and then they'll have like 2 games where they're really terrible and you're like, really need Tatum back. And then obviously they do anyway, but like then they'll go through another couple of weeks where they don't miss again. But where would they be without Jaylen Brown averaging 30 points a game? He's not averaging more points per game than Tatum has in his career. It's just not true. We don't have to lie. He's averaging, I think, 30 even now. He was like 29.6 entering tonight. But why do people got to lie about JT all the time? It makes me so sad.
It's part of the bit.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like, why him of all people to hate? Like, we live in a world where Michael Porter Jr. gets less hate than Jason Tatum. Every time Michael Porter Jr. opens his mouth, it's like the worst thing you've ever heard.
And then he one-ups himself every time.
Yeah, because the next time he opens his mouth, it's worse. He has never said something where I didn't react with like visceral hatred. This dude, but he's like endearing to basketball fans. Like, they don't hate him. And then there's Tatum, who does literally nothing but hoop and be good dad.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's a terrorist.
No, it is funny too, because like Ant is the guy who like they've kind of like anointed as like the American player who we love. And it's like, and not that like Ant's a terrorist, but like Ant is also like not exactly unproblematic king either. Like,
no, not at all.
And everyone's like, but he has aura. It's like that what does that even mean? Like,
how does one obtain aura? That's the question. I
overused term I've ever heard.
Yeah,
but like, how does one obtain that? Like, how do you get aura? Like, what is Jason Tatum not like? Did he really lose aura because he yelled "We did it"?
Well, no, because he got that shit before then too. Like,
that's
it's not
true.
like it like started at the championship. He's gotten it, and I don't know if it is like, he went to Duke and then he goes to the Celtics, and it's two very
idolizes Kobe.
Yeah, 2 very historically dominant teams, Duke and the Celtics, and yeah, he's a big Kobe guy, and he is, never had really like basketball adversity, especially as a young player. He was put into great situations playing for Coach K and then for Brad Stevens. But yeah, I don't know why everyone hates Jason Tatum, because there's no reason to hate Jason Tatum. He's a nice guy.
Like, literally everything about him as a player is like what you want,
right?
Too, like size,
team
willingness
first.
to defend, team first. Great playmaker. Not the best shooter in the world, but like, you got to respect him as a shooter. Like, he's like just a like notch below like an actual like efficient 3-level scorer. And like, the criticisms people have make no sense either, because they're like, he should just play bully ball all the time, as if that would be an effective strategy. If he played bully ball all the time, guess what? They prepare for that. He's not as good at playing bully ball anymore.
Also, look at Paolo as like an example of when that's all you do, teams are eventually going to adapt. And then Banchero is going through it this year because he hasn't developed anything else to his game.
Yeah, he's like truly become the second best player on Orlando. Like Franz, I feel like has been better. I mean,
Yeah.
Bane lately maybe has been better. He didn't start off too hot in his Orlando career, but like I remember when people were immediately talking about Paolo and Franz Wagner as like a better duo than Tatum and Brown the start of last year, because the Magic started like 7-2, and then Paolo hurt his ribs or his oblique, and he missed like 6 weeks, and it's really been tough sledding for him since then. He's obviously had his games, but yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Like the players that the media decides that they hate. I mean, The Athletic literally lied about Jason Tatum's career yesterday. Like it wasn't even just the fact. I'm sorry to go on a soapbox rant about Jason Tatum, but the video said that Jason Tatum's career high for points is 26.9 per game. He's averaging more than that the last 5 years. So how is his career high 26.9 points a game, but his last 5 seasons he's averaging 27.5? That doesn't make any sense.
Someone can't math over at
The Athletic. The Athletic NBA Daily Podcast, man. And you don't know that Tatum has a 30 points. It's not even like something you have to go deep in the archives to find. Just open his basketball reference page. I think it was literally the year after he scored 26.9, he averaged 30.
Yeah, it was the first Missoula year.
Yeah. Like, and that was with Jaylen Brown as his number 2.
Yeah.
Crazy. Absolute lunacy. But anyway. Anything else on the Clippers game? It wasn't like the best game in the world in the sense that like entertainment wise, I mean, they won by 30. So, and it was a 10:30 start time, which is just.
Yeah, I got sleepy.
Yeah.
Disgusting. So that brings us to game 3 of this 4-game stretch, Celtics versus the Bulls. We're back on the Bulls.
Sacramento East.
We're back to early onset Sacramento. And this was the Anfernee Simons game. The one that I personally have been waiting for. I'm not going to do my 180 and be like, maybe they should extend him. I'm not going to do that this week. I'm going to give it time. But I've been waiting for there to be a game where the Celtics needed him to step up, and he actually did. He led the team with 27 points, was 8 of 14 from 3, 27, 3 and 3 off the bench. And it reminds you just of the kind of player that he is, that he very well could, if he really settles into that 6-man role, win the 6th Man of the Year award. And I think that'd be the 3rd year in a row the Celtics, or 3 out of the last 4 years, the Celtics had the 6th Man of the Year. So, right? Because they didn't. Because last year Pritchard won it. They didn't win. They didn't have it the year before, and then it was Brogdon the year before that.
Yeah.
So 3 out of the last 4 years. But this was the Anfernee Simons game. Jamie, what were your takeaways from this one with Chicago?
They were just how Simons stepped up. I think Pritchard was the only one who had 21. He was the only starter who had more than 14. So they really needed someone on the bench to step up. It was just good to see him kind of take that role. I mean, 8 for 14 from 3, 9 for 16 from the field. He's just incredibly efficient, especially on a night where after Jaylen was really good from 3 the night before, he was 1 from 6. I mean, Derek White was 1 from 10 from 3. So they really needed someone to step up and kind of carry the load. It was good to see Simons be the guy to do that. He just kind of sold the show. And is that the first time all year someone other than White, Brown, or Pritchard has led them in points?
That sounds right. I'll check real quick. But
we talked about the love-hate. I feel like this was ultimate love Simons night. Like if it's gonna reach its peak, it was
Baylor.
Yeah, I was just about to say Baylor Shireman against the Rockets led them with 17. And Simons has actually done it twice because he led them with 25 in their first win of the season against the Pelicans. Known great franchise.
Winning organization.
Yeah.
Oh, remember when they were fun? That year they gave the Suns hell.
Was that Chris Paul year or
when Chris Paul was with the Suns? Yeah. Yeah, they had that was rookie Jose Alvarado, where his gimmick of hiding behind the ref or behind, like deep in the corner, and then stealing the ball after the inbounds pass. But yeah, what were some of your thoughts from this one, Jack?
I mean, really quickly, just about reminiscing on the Pelicans. I missed the year that Boogie got hurt and Anthony Davis finally said, "I'll play center." And for one brief moment in time, he was like the best player in the league because he finally realized he's really good at center. And they had like Rondo and Drew and Mirotic, and that team was a lot of fun. Like
they've had some fun rosters. They just
like that was a really fun team. Like once Cousins got hurt, they just like locked in, and it was like genuinely like really, really entertaining basketball. And I liked that. Buddy Hield was on that team. Like it was like, yeah, this is what it should be. This is ethical hoops. And
Rajon Rondo with a functioning like big man is probably a top 10 point guard ever. You give him like a legitimate all-star big, 15 assists on a nightly basis. I mean, he was a freak. I mean, that dude made Celtics Shaq look like Lakers Shaq because it was like lobs like crazy every night until Shaq basically died, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Chicago Bulls game, the stuff that matters. Yeah, I mean, they got bailed out because a lot of the time, and like we've talked about this before, if Jaylen has a bad game, you're probably not going to win, especially with no Tatum. And Jaylen was pretty bad in this one. He shot 6 of 24, 1 for 6 from 3, only 14 points. That's not very good, obviously. But it didn't end up mattering because Simons went nuclear and it bailed them out, especially against a bad team at TD Garden. And those are the kind of situations where you can afford a bad game. Like if Jaylen has a bad game against a good team, especially on the road, your chances of winning that one very, very low. And even at home against a bad team, it's going to be hard. But, they made it work, and Simons went crazy, and other guys kind of just did what they had to do. Queta went 13 and 13. Hauser was pretty efficient. Pritchard made most of his threes. So they skated by. And yeah, this Chicago team's a mess, and Giddey didn't play. So you should win that game. And Kobe White didn't play. So, like, if you did lose to this Chicago team, like, and I get it's the NBA, shit happens, but like, there's no excuse to lose to a Chicago team with no Giddey and no White. So I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah. And what a fall. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a fall from grace for Patrick Williams, but he was like a lotto pick, and he's been so bad for them. Like talk about an organization that desperately needs to have like a top 3 pick in the draft. And they're so obsessed with being the 10 seed. It hurts. It hurts me. And I don't even like the Bulls.
Oh, my bad. Kobe White did play. I just completely forgot he played because he only had 5 points, and he did not even register in my brain that he played. My bad, Kobe White. I apologize. I didn't even remember he stepped on the court.
He started the game too. What a hodgepodge of fucking jabrones on this roster, man. Like, Vucevic still being there after all these years, just insane to me. Dalen Terry, I remember hating that guy. What?
He's Sabonis East. He's the one guy who will stay.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. You got Javon Carter, who like in the running for the oldest, whatever age he is in the league.
Yeah, he's only 30, which I do not believe.
I swear he's been in the league for like 25 years.
Oh yeah, he was on the Bucks for at least 17 seasons.
Maybe I'm thinking of who was that dude that used to play for the Nuggets who was like real Anthony Carter. He was awful. Maybe I'm just lumping him and Javon Carter together and making them one entity, which, I mean, hey, they're basically the same player as far as production goes. So whatever. There have been more egregious combinations of players. But like Kevin Huerter's there. What a roster. Like that is the most 17 and 19 roster I think you could come up with. And they don't deserve to win games when they construct their team the way that they do. But another good night for, like I said, for Simons. And Nemi was 13 and 13. Pritchard had a good night. Pretty much it. That's how you only win against the Bulls by 14. You only have a few guys have good nights, and one of them is your 6 man. and none of them is your all-NBA small forward, who he was really bad in this one. But yeah. Anything else on this game before we hit on the one that sucked? Yeah. I cannot believe how long those last 19 seconds took of this game against the Nuggets.
It felt like a half an hour.
It literally took 10 plus minutes. That was insane how long that took. But it actually instilled me with a moderate amount of hope that they were going to somehow pull it off. Like the Peyton Watson missing 3 free throws in the last minute and a half of the game. I'm like, this dude scored 30 and then turned into Jonte Porter. Ridiculous. But alas, the Valanciunas-less, Jokic-less Denver Nuggets coming to Boston and beat the Celtics 114-110. Jamie, some of your takeaways from this one?
So it just seemed like they ran out of gas in the last 6 minutes. They went for those minutes, I think, without even scoring a basket. Just seemed like they forgot how to play offense, and the Nuggets took advantage because it also seemed like that's when they couldn't stop scoring. I mean, it felt like going into the last quarter, Simons was making 2 straight threes off great hustle plays, and it's like, all right, this is a good start. And then the last quarter did not go well. And, I mean, they only got outscored by 7, but it felt like a lot more than that. And it just, for those last 5-6 minutes, it just seemed like they ran out of gas and had nothing left, especially offensively.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. They almost played like they thought the Nuggets were going to die at some point, and then they just kept going after them. I mean, props to them. I mean, Peyton Watson and Zeke Naji literally gamed the Celtics tonight, and Jamal Fat Marcus Smart Murray went and had 15 assists, which ridiculous as well. It's just, I know Jaylen had 33 points tonight, but he was awful. He was really bad tonight. I mean, he had a DeJounte Murray game. He had 33 points on 29 shots, 7 turnovers. It was brutal. It really, I don't want to lay into him too much, but they needed more out of him tonight. He did not deliver, and it is what it is. It hasn't happened often this year, so can leave it at that. But it was not a good showing. It was almost like a Tatum game in a way, where he went off to start the game and then he hijacked his own performance with stupid turnovers and bad shots that killed his efficiency. Jack, what were some of your takeaways from this one?
Kata getting 20 boards was crazy. I didn't believe that. Watching it, that doesn't make sense, but box score says you did. And I knew he was grabbing boards, but I wouldn't have said 20. And yeah, I mean, Jaylen, I agree. The eye test, not great. And yeah, technically it's not the most inefficient game ever, but it wasn't great. White wasn't hitting his threes. And you got gamed once again by Peyton Watson and Zeke Naji and Tim Hardaway Jr. And sometimes you have to just say, well, that sucked, because it did. And it's not ideal, obviously. This is a game that you probably should win with no Jokic. And I know Christian Brown is now playing and Aaron Gordon's now playing, so they're starting to return to something resembling the Denver Nuggets, but they're still not there. And you just kind of shot yourselves out of the game, especially at home. And I understand you can't win every game. In the NBA, you're going to drop them. And there's bright spots. I think Ugo, once again, the energy was really good near the end of the game, to the point that I almost got tricked into thinking they might win. And so, it is what it is. It sucks as a game to lose. But I'm also not pressing any panic buttons or anything. It's just a shitty loss.
Yeah, and they kind of throw these in every 7-8 games.
Exactly.
Where they're just as a reminder, we're not the Celtics of the last couple of years. I don't want to say that they wouldn't have lost this game with last year's team because I think they probably still would have. I mean, they did, right? Like they did lose to the Nuggets when they were undefeated at home that was 2 years ago, but they did lose to Denver in that game. But it's like, it felt like they kept them at arm's length for most of the game. I think their largest lead tonight was 9. And yeah, the second half was brutal. It really comes down to that. I mean, they somehow outscored the Nuggets by 3 in the third quarter. It did not feel like it. But at one point, the Nuggets lead swelled to 13. So that being a 4-point loss is very not indicative of how that fourth quarter went. They got absolutely run out of the gym in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And that sucked. But it is what it is. I mean, you take care of business against bad teams. You can afford to, I don't want to say throw a game, but they should have won tonight. But they're 24-12, or 23 and 13. They're still a top 3 team in the East. Still going to probably get Tatum back at some point, and then there's still the deadline in less than a month now. And clock is ticking. And Brian Scalabrine feels the pressure of the trade deadline because he was ready to kill Michael Hawley tonight. I'm not joking. It felt like Michael Hawley at one point yelled at Scal that he was being performative. And that made me think that maybe this was like baked into the program of like Scal getting all emotional about Ivica Zubac. But like he was getting like red. He was like there was a new level of red to the Red Mamba. He was pissed. I thought he was going to kill him. I really thought we were going to see I don't know if you guys remember that whole fiasco with the old Tigers broadcasters who I think Mario, what was his last name? I don't remember. His name was Mario though. And then he eventually ended up working for WEI, ironically, but they got into they were strangling each other in the booth. I thought we were going to get that on live TV with Scal and Michael Hawley tonight.
See, I was more envisioning like a Skip Bayless, it's my turn kind of thing, but damn, that's crazy.
No, he was getting so mad. I wish I could have gone back and recorded that interaction. He was getting so mad. He was yelling at him about trades from 2008. I'm like, what the fuck is happening on my TV right now? Scal was find yourself somebody who wants you the way Brian Scalabrine wants Ivica Zubac on the Celtics. And I feel like the conversation was a pretty good one that Michael Hawley was drumming up. It's is he the kind of player that you in a so-called retooling year trade draft capital for? I think he is. But it's a reasonable conversation to have. And Scal was like, I will kill you with my bare hands if you don't concede that Ivica Zubac should be traded for Anfernee Simons and multiple first-round picks.
I think we just found the line for Scal that you do not cross. Scal has a limit, and it's now been established.
Yeah, don't mess with the guys on Team Scal. Drew Carter jokes about guys being on Team Scal on the broadcast, but I guess it's a real thing. He will kill you if somebody ever says a bad thing about Jakob Poeltl, we are going to see Scal in the news.
Pause the game. We have a minor altercation at the.
Yeah, Scal might run onto the court and throw an absolute meltdown. I wonder. That man is crazy.
I mean,
we should have known he plays high schoolers and shits on them because they say that he was bad at basketball. You're the only dude maybe in the history of pro sports that's oh, high schooler talks shit about me. I'm going to go and beat them in one-on-one as a former NBA player.
I mean, hey, look at the man's highlight tape on YouTube. I forget what it is. I think there's one that's a minute 30 with just background music, and it's one of the greatest things.
The grainiest footage of all time, and it's there's one from every pit stop he had in his career.
I like the fake Fast Scal 30 for 30 trailer.
Yep.
That's iconic.
It's I do like that Scal is a good sport about it. He's known as one of the worst players in the NBA. Not, I don't want to say ever, but he was so insignificant in NBA history. And he's yeah, but I was an NBA player. It's fair enough, but you don't have to go beating up on high schoolers. And don't kill Michael Hawley, please. Please spare Michael Hawley.
That should be one of the episode bullet points.
Yeah, don't kill Michael Hawley. I can't say that on Twitter. I will. Our account will get banned. Don't pew Michael Hawley.
Don't Kirk Michael Hawley.
You can make it PG-13. Just say don't hurt.
Michael Charlie Kirk Hawley.
Yeah, that's how the YouTube page gets suspended.
Oh my goodness.
He teaches classes at BU. One time they fill up like immediately though. I try to get in one time and like within like 10 minutes of registration, it's completely booked.
I think Ashrod Blakely does class. He did classes at Emerson when I was there. That was cool.
Doesn't Cotillo does classes somewhere too?
Yeah, I don't remember where.
I don't either.
And then he has his workshop. Spots remain.
Spots always remain.
That is one of the greatest bits on Red Sox Twitter. And it's not even a bit because it's like he's actually marketing his thing. But like, whenever he says spots remain, it makes me laugh so hard. That was my fantasy team name in one of my leagues this year. Was spots remain.
I mean, he's done a great job owning it. At that point, it's like you just gotta own it.
Yeah, he is one of my favorite like people in Boston sports Twitter. Like people give him a ton of shit because he's media, but he is funny.
Yeah, I agree.
There he is. I feel like especially with Red Sox fans on social media, you have to like be able to deal with some of that and have like joke around a little bit because as we all know that those comment sections can sometimes be a very fun time.
Oh yeah. And he trolls sort of like, but not really. Like he'll do the spots remain thing, which is funny. Like I need a bit for myself when like people say the most outlandish shit to me. I need to have like a go-to line that it's not necessarily in the spots remain tier, but it's like I'm acknowledging your stupidity and I'm not acknowledging it at the same time. Spots remain. Maybe I'll just start saying spots remain. Just completely steal Cotillo's thing.
Make it your Twitter handle.
My Twitter handle is at spots remain.
Masataka Yoshida remains.
That's my goat. Is he actually going to be in a movie?
No.
I thought I saw somebody say that he was going to be in a movie.
No.
Well, I thought was it Milliken? I feel like it was like a Milliken post video.
I think it was Matt.
Maybe. No, I'm not talking about the Avengers Doomsday tweet. I'm not talking about that. I saw like one of the workouts he was doing where he was like, I don't even know what he was training for, but then I saw like a couple posts about him being in a movie in Japan. Maybe I got AI'd.
You might have gotten AI.
I probably got AI.
He does have an IMDb, but it's just for one episode of Friday Night Baseball. So I don't think it's that.
Wonder if we can't add the Netflix doc to the IMDb for Masa.
I feel like it should. I think it should qualify.
I mean, I guess he didn't get like interviewed. He was just kind of like there in passing, but like
little cameo.
God, I would have given the world for a Masataka Yoshida episode of that documentary. But alas,
I don't know, Netflix doc on Masa's life instead of a Red Sox one, just Yoshida from 2 years old to.
I will conduct the 30 for 30 on Masataka Yoshida's life,
especially the World Series MVP this year for the Cincinnati Reds.
Hey, no. He's gonna be a Red Sox and just trust that it's gonna work out.
I hope. I just fear it won't.
Well, the only team who hasn't signed a free agent now since Michael Lorenzen is
and that signing got announced as the intro was playing, and I was like, how do I find a way to bring that up in the episode? I appreciate it. Just the kinds of things that get us to an hour.
True. Because it's like
right on cue.
My Red Sox rant, since I feel like we haven't had a Red Sox rant so far, it's like I get they've added salary through trades. I just find it wild. It's January 7th. and it's not even like a 1 year, $5 million reliever that, like might make the roster. Like literally zero money in free agency. It's just wild.
Yeah. I mean, it's to me, it's one thing if they were giving, like, I don't think they've given up a whole lot as far as their assets are concerned. Like, Brandon Clark is probably still the toughest pill to swallow. I mean, like Dobbins, but like, I think that he was more so like Richard Fitz with favorable outcomes, at least from like a how he looked standpoint. And I don't want to say that like it's derogatory. I love Hunter Dobbins, but they like Brandon Clark's still the guy that I'm like, that sucks. But like Sonny Gray and Wilson Contreras are very good. But I'm with you. Like it's just crazy that they like even last year they signed Justin Wilson.
Yeah. And then everyone yelled at them. So maybe Breslow was like, you know what? I'm not going to get yelled at this year.
I'm not going to get. Well, he's still getting yelled at. He's definitely still getting yelled at. But
yeah, the thing is though that I will say, and I was talking about this with my uncle the other day, was like if they don't keep Bregman or pivot to Bichette or sign a guy where it's like, okay, this makes sense, and like I'm fine with this, then I'll be upset. But I'm not gonna get upset when there's still so many big targets left. And like I understand like guys beneath that are filling up and gone. Like you can't pivot to Okamoto anymore. Okamoto's gone. But it's like as long as you get the big fish and make good moves, like I don't care. You signed JD Martinez like 2 days before spring training started, and you saw where that ended up. So like I'm not freaking out yet.
Yeah, it's literally, it just sucks because it's like you'd want them to have already kind of figured it all out, but the fact that there is no time limit or like deadline for signing guys, it's like until guys that like actually make sense for your team are gone, there's no real sense to getting upset.
Exactly.
Because you're getting mad that they haven't signed Alex Bregman yet, but nobody has signed Alex Bregman.
Exactly.
Like he's still a free agent. The Pete Alonso thing, this isn't a Red Sox episode. I won't dive too much into that, but like at least that's valid. But then they got Wilson Contreras, so it's they still got a guy to play first base. Anyway, shall we talk about the Utah Mammoth now?
Yeah.
But the first episode we're going live, that one when we're taking a pod trip.
Yeah, after the Red Sox trade for Matt Shaw and we do our meet and greet in Utah. That's ball knowledge right there.
I wonder if Gordon Hayward would come.
I mean, does he have anything better to do that day? Like, what else?
Does he live in Utah?
I don't know where he lives, but like, he's definitely welcome there.
Yeah, probably more welcome there than he is in Boston, which is not fair to him. But
yeah, it's not his fault. But like, Gordon Hayward, Danny Ainge.
Kyrie's.
Like Gordon Hayward, Danny Ainge, Tusky panel. Winter Classic.
Just the most like out of place thing ever. Just Tusky getting Tusky's takes on the Celtics. We're asking Gordon Hayward about his time with the Oklahoma City Thunder just to make sure that nothing makes sense about.
Do you think like we'll need a Mammoth interpreter, or do you think like Danny Ainge knows what he's saying and can interpret for us?
Well, I don't know. Is he fluent in Mammoth? Like, I mean, it's not the same. They're associated by the fact that they're both Utah sports figures.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't know.
What's their communication like?
Is Mammoth hard to learn? Have we figured that out? Is it a difficult?
Is it an available language on Duolingo?
Can I sign up on Rosetta Stone for a 12-week course?
Do I still have Duolingo on my phone? I don't.
I like how that implies you would check for Mammoth.
I was searching. I was gonna look. You never know what. I mean, I didn't do a deep like search into the available languages. I was like, ooh, I really want to learn Japanese, and then I tried for like.
It'll be a picture of Tusky.
Yeah, because he is the face of Mammoth. Because Lord knows he's not a player on the team.
Yeah, like they started the Duolingo for that because like everyone wants to talk to the Tusky AI chatbot, so like they got to get fluent.
Even though Duolingo did not or existed well before Tusky did.
Yeah.
Before Tusky, there was Manny from Ice Age.
He was a good mammoth.
But he spoke English.
He did. He was a bilingual mammoth.
Should Manny be the fourth guest? The voice of Manny is.
Who is the voice of Manny from Ice Age? Because I feel like I should know that. I feel like it's like somebody very, very famous.
Oh yeah, Ray Romano.
It's Ray Romano. What a cast!
We're flying Ray Romano out to Utah.
And we got freaking Dennis Leary and Jack Black in the alumnus for Ice Age. That's
I think we have to get Jack Black on the panel for getting them. Like that would just be a perfect top off to that.
I know I've made this analogy before, but you know on Get Up on ESPN how there's like 10 people all crowded around the smallest desk ever. That's gonna be the Utah situation.
For sure. We're gonna have like a small table. It's gonna be like one of those like preschool snack tables. And it's just gonna be all of us with Danny Ainge, Jack Black, Tusky, Gordon Hayward.
Bill Simmons.
Bill Simmons is going to be there for some reason, probably because Gordon Hayward's there, so he's got to make an appearance. And then Matt Shaw,
number 16, Limitless.
I think the only thing that'd be funnier than Matt Shaw and Jaren Duran being traded or being on the same team would be them getting traded for each other, and then Matt Shaw taking number 16. Anyway, I don't want to manifest that too much.
Yeah, I know.
Especially because it makes some sense, but we don't need to go there.
Yeah.
We don't need to. Anyway, guys, I kept the schedule open. So when we do preview these next few games, I actually have them right here.
That's important.
Great. It is important. Are we ready to get there? Because I mean, we've talked about the Red Sox and the Mammoths since we last talked about
I think this episode we might have more time not about the Celtics than the Celtics.
It's close. The first 20 minutes were Trae Young. Last 10 minutes have been everything but the Celtics. So we're actually pretty close. We're at 40 minutes Celtics, 30 minutes other shit. That's in line with how we typically go.
That's fair.
I feel like
we're a news source.
Yeah. We're a Celtics podcast, but we dabble. We talk about everything that people care about.
It's about the SEO and the bullet points. We gotta hit all the search terms.
Yeah, we got to make sure that everything. Yeah, what were some of the bullet points from last episode?
There were some good ones last episode.
What did we have? I know we had early onset Sacramento Kings was one of them. What else did we have? Wait, I forgot to pin the last episode. I'm terrible. Russian arms deal was another one. When we talked about trading Brett Favre for Glenn Davis to get him out of jail.
It's great not to get sidetracked again before we pick games. But like, have you seen that graphic of like all the people who have been in that jail in New York where they're putting Maduro? Like, it's crazy. Like,
we can put Maduro on the bullet points, or is it too soon? Yeah, who's on that? I haven't seen the list.
It's like him, Diddy, R. Kelly, Luigi. It's like it is Arkham Asylum. Like,
I mean, it's like a stacked list if you're looking for headlines.
Nothing would have prepared me for Diddy being the second name you mentioned.
No, like I didn't realize we have a real life Arkham, and like where we keep all the supervillains.
Who's gonna be the next one? Who will be the next? I don't think we should make any predictions on that.
Lucky Garza.
Oh man. Michael Porter Jr.
Oh, Jonte Porter could totally end up there.
That's a good point. Terry Rozier could end up there.
He could.
Chauncey Billups definitely could end up there. Arguably should already be there. Allegedly. Yeah. Allegedly, not arguably. I meant to say allegedly FBI agent in my webcam. Also
get a cease and desist. Get a cease and desist email in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah. Freaking Cash Patel is staring at me through my webcam.
He'll probably be at the Winter Classic in Utah.
Should we add him to the panel? Yeah, we're gonna Russian arms deal Matt Shaw for Cash Patel on the panel.
He's a big puck guy.
Is he?
Yeah, no, I'm not even joking. He's a huge hockey guy.
Huh. Interesting. Anyway.
It's gonna be a great panel.
Yeah.
He and Evander Kane are boys, which makes so much sense.
So do we get Evander Kane also?
No, we don't want Evander Kane on the.
We really don't want to.
We don't want to give him a platform. It's all good. At that point we may as well just get Michael Porter Jr. on, because at least he'll say things that get eyeballs on the show. We put Evander Kane on and we get blacklisted immediately. But anyway, speaking of Jonte Porter, the next game the Celtics plays against the Toronto Raptors. So there's
State
that.
The 51st state.
Huh. Remember when that was a thing?
Now it's gonna be Venezuela.
There's the Venezuela bullet point right there.
Oh man, when do we move a team to Venezuela? When do we expand the NBA to Venezuela?
Imagine the numbers that the Memphis Grizzlies would do.
Going from Vancouver so they'd be the first team to play in 3 different countries.
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically it wouldn't be another country, right? Because they'd be a territory, or I guess the 51st state in this hypothetical scenario. Yeah. We pivoted from Canada to Venezuela. Crazy. Maybe I shouldn't say
only
we
one of those
so
countries has Ronald Acuna Jr. So
That's true. That is true. The other one is Vlad Jr. though.
That's true.
And formerly Jonte Porter. And currently Emmanuel Quickley and Brandon Ingram. And Scott Barnes.
Only his friends get to call him Scotty.
I kind of hated that I said Scott Barnes. It just doesn't sound right. But anyway. So the 3 games the Celtics have in this next stretch, they've got the Raptors on Friday at 7 p.m. at home, and then they get a back-to-back, another beloved back-to-back against Victor Wembanyama, Luke Cornett, and the San Antonio Spurs.
The Cornett tribute video is going to go crazy. Oh no, we lost Jordan right when it mattered.
I was going to say, this freeze frame, that was a perfect freeze frame too.
I glitched.
Yeah.
It's that time.
But yeah, Cornett tribute video going to go so hard.
Might have to go to the game just to witness it.
Tickets are so expensive.
I know.
Because I want to go, but also the get-in price is $150.
Yeah, not great. Would Luke Cornett be the first player in league history to have a tribute video that can be comprised of absolutely nothing he's done on the basketball court? He was good.
Yeah.
But his tribute video should just be the outrageous shit he has said to the media. That'd be so fitting. That's the tribute video he'd want, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can't wait till he's back in this great state of Massachusetts. He will totally be a Celtic again.
I wish we could trade Durant for Cornett.
Well, how valuable of an asset will Glenn Davis be? Can we 3-team trade here where we send Brett Favre to prison, get Glenn Davis to San Antonio, and Luke Cornett back to the Celtics?
I mean, it's a win-win.
Honestly, a Texas sports team, they'd probably actually want Brett Favre in that deal. Anyway. So yeah, Celtics are 23-13. Where will they be?
We didn't even
game
talk
3.
about they play the Pacers again.
Game 3 is against Indiana on Monday at 7:30. That game on Peacock. If you want to go to that game, it's only $9. Plus the cost of going to fucking Indiana. Maybe you can
Which
discover
probably
the
isn't that high either.
Yeah. Maybe you could discover the secret 9th episode of Stranger Things season 5 that apparently was supposed to drop today. I don't want to go down another. I guess we get one more buzzword in there for the bullet points. The people that are talking about conformity gate are turning into like QAnon for Stranger Things. It's like so like how people were talking about the inauguration for Biden. It's like, oh, Trump's going to just like come out of nowhere and suddenly be president again. It's like, that's how we are with Stranger Things season 5, episode 9. That doesn't exist. That does not exist. Like Trump's second term in 2021. Anyway. So the 3 games, I didn't mean to do Trump hands after saying that. Anyway, somebody save me from myself. Jamie, how are the Celtics going to do in these next 3 games?
I'm going to go with 2-1. I think they beat Toronto and San Antonio, and then they lose that second game of the back-to-back.
Jack, what do you think?
Yeah, so I'm going to reverse engineer it. They're smoking Indiana in Indiana. Like, they get to play these guys once a week, and they're terrible. Like, I don't know why.
That is true, because 9 days later, they play Indiana again.
Yeah, no, we play the Pacers every week for like a month, and it's bizarre how the NBA schedule is. Because I feel like they should be spaced out, but they're not. We just play them every week for a month and then never again. So
they did that with the Sixers too.
Yeah, I think they're gonna smoke Indiana in Indiana. Like, I'm not at all concerned about that game, which means they're gonna get blown out. I think they're gonna take care of definitely the first half of the back-to-back against Toronto at home. The San Antonio game sketches me out because Wembanyama's a demon, and Luke Cornett is going to be motivated to drop 30 on their heads. But you know what? I keep saying they're going to win every game. And most times that kind of ends up being right. So I'm going to say they sweep, even though I'm very concerned about second night of back-to-back against San Antonio. Like, in my head, they're going to lose that game. But I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to say they win all 3.
I have them going 2-1. I really think they're going to get obliterated by the Spurs. Like, they're just, that team is so good. And like, nobody has an answer for Wemby, but like, I'm sorry, Nimi, you on an island on the perimeter against Wembanyama, you might end up wishing you were in the G League again. Truly, it might be the first time I've ever bet on somebody to get like 40 plus points and 12 plus boards and like 5 plus blocks. That might be even money, not gambling advice, but they're going to get, I do not feel good about that game at all. That's almost part of the reason why I want to go there, have a couple of alcoholic beverages
for like $20 each.
For like $20 a piece, watch the Luke Cornett tribute video, and go there with absolutely no expectation that the Celtics are going to win. It's like the opposite of the Jazz game that Jack and I attended. Like, went there, indulged in an alcoholic beverage, had every expectation that the Celtics were going to win, and they lost. No tribute video, though. I just got to watch Luka Garza get gamed by fucking
They should have given Kevin Love a tribute video.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit more cathartic than watching him have a legacy game against Luka Garza, but neither here nor there. But yeah,
just like every outlet pass he's thrown against the Celtics ever
pissed me off. And then Yusuf Nurkic, of all people, with the game winner. God, irritating.
And Jaylen getting tripped, and that's fine.
Yeah, and then Ace Bailey being on the Jazz despite openly saying that he would never play for the Utah Jazz.
He also wanted to be a Wizard. He and Trey are like the only people.
Yeah. So weird. We looked this up too. Like, Trae Young's from Texas. Like, what is it about the Wizards? Like, if he was from Maryland, maybe. Like, I could see it. Obviously, if he was from the DC area, like he grew up, maybe he's a big Gilbert Arenas fan. Like, somebody's got to be other than him.
Big Nene fan.
Huge fan. Like, maybe he was a Marcin Gortat fantasy owner.
Merchant.
Yeah.
Marching.
big fan of the Gortat screen, and he's gonna teach Alex Sarr how to set that. And yeah, anyway. So yeah, 2-1. I have the Celtics going. So Jamie and I have them both going 2-1. And Jack cautiously optimistic of the 3-0 week. I don't want to tell myself they can beat the Spurs because then I'll start to believe it. Well, yeah. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
Prepare for the panel.
Prepare for the panel. Any more buzzwords we want to sneak in before we wrap this up?
I don't feel like we hit them all.
I genuinely think we've hit them all.
Should we say Timberwolves just so we get those Minnesota clicks?
The Timberwolves Brazil account starts posting thirst traps about us. The horniest Twitter account maybe ever. Timberwolves Brazil. But anyway, yeah, there we go. And we did already talk about the Orlando Magic, so maybe they'll play the song for us. I genuinely think we've hit on every single possible SEO word for now, in this time period.
I think this was like the best.
So proud.
I think this is the best way we did it too. We made it like more seamless than usual.
It was actually like very organic because we talked about Maduro and Venezuela. We brought up Ronald Acuna Jr., which is always topical, and Vlad Jr. We brought up Trump, Biden, QAnon, Charlie Kirk, and Conformity Gate. And that's like a huge thing right now too with the Stranger Things finale. So like, yeah.
And Arkham too. Don't forget.
And Arkham. And yeah. Arkham, yeah.
Diddy.
And Diddy.
Luigi,
yeah.
Brett Favre, Glenn Davis.
Russian arms deal. Like we literally hit all of them. And if you're still listening, congratulations on getting whatever that was. Whatever that run of buzzwords was. I feel like I missed one too. Not that we missed one throughout the course of the show, but I missed one in the recap. But Cash Patel, that's the other one. And obviously Tusky.
And Ice Age. We hit Ice Age too.
We did hit Ice Age. We brought it. We got the nostalgia in there. Anyway. That'll do it for this edition of the Hour Back Report. Again, episode 13. Follow us on Twitter at the Hour Back Report. Like us on Spotify. Leave us a review. Subscribe to the YouTube account. Do all those things. Would really appreciate it. For Jamie and Jack, I'm Jordan. Till next time, peace out and go see it.
We did it. We did it!